see how this goes. Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Hannah. I am 37 and a half weeks pregnant. I'm a Pilates instructor and I am currently self-isolating due to everything going on in the world right now. But my body is needing to move, and I figured that there were also some other mamas out there who could use some movement at home as well. So I'm gonna go over like a 20-minute prenatal safe Pilates based workout that anyone can do from home, anywhere. As you can see, I don't have any like actual props with me. I have 2 blankets set up as my mat. I have 2 bottles of wine. If I can't drink it, I might as well use it as a hand weight. Google says that 750 milliliter bottle of wine is between 3 and 4 pounds, so I'll listen to them. And then I have some pillows that can be used for support, that can be used for some adductor work. I'll show you how I use them throughout. If you have been working out throughout your pregnancy, it should be totally safe for you to do these moves as long as you don't have any conditions or injuries. I obviously don't know what you're working with, but always listen to your body. If something hurts or doesn't feel right, don't do it. But we all know that, and this should be pretty safe for everyone. So I'm gonna start first just by a little warm up. I've definitely been feeling tense, so you wanna start by warming up the upper body, letting go of any tension we can tend to carry in our shoulders and our head, just getting it to move around a little bit freely. And make sure you start to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. I like to hold on to the ribs. And continue that breathing pattern throughout. Reach your arms up, find length through the whole body. Think about expanding nice and wide, and then take a nice side bend over to one side. Anchor the opposite foot down so you can really lengthen the side body here, especially if you are feeling pelvic or low back pain. Side stretching can be really, really helpful. And just breathing into it. Whew. And come all the way up, a little micro back bend, opening up the heart. And then a very slow, notice my wide stance to accommodate the belly. Roll down towards the floor, trying to release any tension. Let the head go and just sway from side to side. Now, depending on baby and their size, they might not like this position too much. Feel free to skip it. When you stand up, make sure you bend your knees, pull the abs in, and slowly start to stack the spine one vertebra at a time. And if that makes you feel dizzy, please do not do it. My bump's pooping out. All right, so I'm going to grab my hand weights. Can't wait until I can drink this. And start by just warming up the entire body with some squats. So my feet are nice and wide. That's the most comfortable position for me. It could be anywhere from like hip distance to a little bit wider than that. And you just start to bend your knees, hinge your hips. And I'm just adding a bicep curl. This is so funny with weights. To get my upper body working, my lower body working, and continuing that breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In one of the books that I was reading, Prepping for Pregnancy, written by a midwife, she said, do squats every day. There's literally like no amount of squats that would be too many to help prepare you for childbirth. Squats will help you strengthen your lower body. Really important glute activation to help support the pelvis as relaxin changes the way our body supports and stabilizes. Now I'm going to turn to the side. Notice I'm hinging my hips, so that's my butt going back as I'm bending my knees. I'm keeping my spine nice and long, so I don't round like this, I don't arch like this, a nice neutral spine. You want to make sure that your hips, knees, and toes are all tracking so that your knees aren't buckling in or flaring out. You have this nice alignment of the joints in your lower body. And I'm already getting warm You can probably hear my breathing. I'll probably need to take off this sweater in a second. I'm gonna stay low, check to make sure that my weight is in my heels. I'm contracting my deep core. It's just a subtle thing, not too much ab activation. And I'm gonna take little pulses down an inch, up an inch. As I do this, I'm squeezing my glutes so that they activate more. And the weight in the heels helps the glutes turn on so that it's not just the front of my legs doing all of the work here. Let's go for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1. Come all the way up. All right, quick second, because I'm already getting warm. The joys of pregnancy. Whew, okay. So coming back to a squat sequence, I'm gonna get my weights. Notice I squat to pick them up and put them down. Very functional. I'm gonna come on back to my squat. I'm just gonna start to shift my weight from right to left. And as I'm doing this, I'm feeling my glutes activate differently. As I shift to the right, my right glute fires. As I shift to the left, my left glute fires. So starting to get some single side activation, but this is a little bit more supportive than if I were to balance on one side. Sometimes that can be hard for our pelvises to stabilize due to the relaxin. Good. Now if it feels okay to you, then definitely shift to one side. Maybe try a little lift. Balance, step it down slowly, shift to one side, lift up, balance, whew, step it down. Can continue just like this, or you can go back to shifting your weight side to side. The joys of working out at home. I'm just gonna go for a few more here. For 4, 3, 2, and 1, and come on in. All right, we're gonna take it down to the floor. Ooh, definitely feeling warmed up. Time for the hair to go up. Probably should have done this earlier. I suggest starting with your hair up and also making sure you have some water. Okay, so I mentioned in our warm-up some deep core activation. There's a lot of information about how to safely use your core while you're pregnant because it's an important part of your body to help stabilize your pelvis, your back, and support good health. At the same time, you want to make sure that you don't overstimulate, which could increase your potential DR, or the splitting of the abs. So I'm going to talk about the transverse abdominals here. First, just a few cat-cow stretches to warm up through the spine. And you can probably see that at this stage, I've got a little bit limited mobility for how much I can arch and round my back, but that's okay. I'm just working in a place that feels good. And then start to shake my head and my hips, front to back, side to side. Just kind of moving freely. See where I'm tight and loosening that all up. Now, talking about our deep core. Transverse abdominals, the deepest level of your core, works with your pelvic floor. Super important muscles. I'll probably post a video just explaining that to come. But one of my favorite ways to activate them is I'm in this hands and knees position. I'm gonna let my belly just relax and hang down. And then on my exhale, I'm gonna contract my navel up and feel my ribs pull together. And then I'm gonna let it hang down, and then pull it up. I'm gonna do that a few more times. Let it go, feel the navel pull up, the ribs close. Notice my back is not changing. Let it go. Pull it up. Now can I start to lift my pelvic floor as I do that? Let it go, pull it up, find that pelvic floor, lift, deep contraction through our deepest core muscles. Let it go, pull it up. Now that's our foundation for our bird dog. So I'm gonna let it go, pull it up, keep it up. Extend my right arm forward and my left leg back. Find a balance point. Set hand and knee down. Switch to the other side. Whew. Don't want to knock over the weight. Come on down. Now as I do this, I'm keeping my deep core engaged so that I don't have this massive transfer of weight from side to side. And so that I'm not starting to lean into one side, either like dipping into a shoulder, twisting my hips, letting my leg drop. You want to keep these nice square alignments. Now on this next one, I'm going to hold it and just start to take little pulses up 1 inch, down 1 inch. Deep core is working to balance in this position, and now I'm starting to activate my glutes a little bit more to pulse the leg. And then set it down and switch to the other side. And then set it down, taking a second to shake it out because my body is definitely feeling tense. Coming on back one more time, arm out, leg out. Now I'll start to open and close the arm and the leg. Now I'm starting to activate my side glutes a little bit more as I connect through my transverse abdominals to stay balanced and stable. And reps wise, I'm a notoriously bad counter. I usually do about 8 to 10. But, you know, I can't promise that's actually what I'm doing here. For 2 and 1, and then set it down. I'm just going to take a little child's pose. Now for me, coming onto my forearms is more comfortable at this stage of my pregnancy. So feel free, like, listen to your body. This is not comfortable for me. This is. Adapt how you need. Right. Now, I'm going to grab my pillows for support. I'm going to lay down. Laying down is something that if it does not make you uncomfortable, if it does not give you shortness of breath, then feel free to do it. If it does, please skip this or try propping a pillow underneath your pelvis. That's what I'm going to do for support. And anytime you lay down or get up from laying down, turn to the side, use your hands to support you. Lay down like this and then roll over. That's going to help not overuse the abs muscles that I was talking about before. Now laying down on my back, I'm just going to start with a few pelvic tucks. So that means I'm going to flatten my back, feel my pubic bone tilt up, and then let my pelvis come back to its neutral position. Flatten, and then come on back. This always feels nice on my low back when it starts to feel tight. Just get some mobility. And I'm, again, using my deep transverse abdominals to help engage and move the pelvis. Okay, now from here, I'm going to turn this into a bridge sequence. In my pregnancy, hinging up to a bridge feels better than articulating the spine. That's the method I'll be using, but please feel free to do what feels best for you and DM me if you have any questions about it. I'm going to use this pillow to just hug into my knees. That's going to help me activate my inner thighs a little bit more and activate my pelvic floor, again, to help support my body. So starting with my arms down by my side, take a nice deep breath in, push it into the heels of my feet, squeeze the glutes, and lift my butt up to a bridge. Notice it's not a super high bridge. That's okay, wherever you feel best here. My navel's pulling back, my ribs are closing. I'm pushing into my heels, and then I'm imagining ripping the mat apart with my heels. That helps me to activate the side glutes. Holding here and breathing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips down, taking a few pelvic tucks to feel good. Now you can always have your arms by your side. Sometimes it feels nice just to hug the belly in. And then for a little bit more of a challenge, you can float the arms up towards the ceiling. So from here, I'm gonna squeeze my glutes, pull the abs in, lift my butt up, and then I'm gonna lower, kind of tap my pillow and lift back up. Lower and tap. And I don't know if you just noticed what I did with my shoulders. I caught that I was like rounding them and tensing them. Plug them down into the mat, a nice wide collarbone here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, I'm going to keep my hips lifted, take little pulses up an inch, down an inch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. By then, I feel my hamstrings, my glutes, and even some of my quads starting to work. You can repeat that a couple times if it feels good for you. I'm going to keep moving for the sake of keeping this video succinct for you. Moving on to a little bit more lower body work. Again, turning to my side so that I can safely sit myself up. I'm going to do some side glutes. Side glutes is one of my favorite things to work. So like this area right here, really supportive muscles. Again, I've talked a lot about stabilizing the pelvis, but if you've ever had pregnancy low back pain, you know what I'm talking about. So this can be done a few different ways. As first option shown here, I'm on my forearm. I'm going to activate my upper body a little bit more. To modify, you can place your head in your hand like this, or you can lay down on your side. I think I'm going to kick my weights. Let's bring them over here. All right, so I'm going to start here, but if I need to modify, I'm certainly going to. You can keep my bottom leg bent for support. My top leg is going to straighten out. Now I'm lifting up through my waistline so that I never look like this, right? Bad angle for the shoulder, bad on the hip, not engaging my core to support me. This is much better. Hips stacked one on top of the other, and they're going to stay that way. Hopefully you guys can tell me if they wiggle the whole time. So lift the leg up, lower down. Lift and lower. For 4, 3, 2, keep the leg lifted, little pulses up an inch, down an inch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, little circles. The leg circles, the hip does not. Good for 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse the direction of those circles. For 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Good, I'm going to set that leg down. Carefully come on to hands and knees. This can also be done on forearms and knees. Now getting it back into that quadricep position that I was in before. Again, connecting with the deep core, navel backwards, close. I'm going to continue to work that same left leg. Lift my leg up and lower it down. Lift and lower. As you do that, notice my back is not arching, hopefully. I'm not leaning into that right side. I'm squeezing my right glute to help support it here. You can always take your opposite hand behind your back. That will help you feel what's going on, and it's also going to challenge your balance a bit more. Good, on the next one, I'll hold it up. Take little pulses up an inch, down an inch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stay there, straighten my leg, bend it. Realizing it really does not take much this far along in pregnancy for me to start to feel it. Good, keep my leg lifted, little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. We can do one more sequence, still on the left side, grabbing my weights, carefully standing up. Now lunge sequence, as long as it feels good, keep doing it. If it starts to hurt like your SI joints, then go back to squats. Both legs are going to be more supportive for you. My left foot is going to come forward. My right leg is back, but my weight is in my left leg. Now from here, I'm just going to bend and then come up an inch. Bend and come up an inch. Notice my spine is long. Remember, I'm not rounding forward. My hips are square to the wall that's in front of me. I'm not leaning or twisting. That's going to make your pelvis hurt. So little pulses here. Weight in the heel of my left foot. Good, now keep my weight there. Set my back leg in and out. This is not a transfer of weight. My left glute and leg is really firing here to keep my weight forward. For 4 and 3. Breathe. 2, 1. Keep that leg back. Arms are in. Take little pulses back. Good. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Back. Good. For 4, 3, 2, 1, some triceps. Now you can stay with just bending and straightening the arms, or you can bend your knees and straighten. Bend, straighten. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're gonna come on down. I'm gonna take a quick stretch. Figure 4 stretch, one of my favorites. Oh, there goes my water. It's okay, it's carpet. Cross my ankle over my thigh, press the knee open, take a little rock from side to side. Water bottle would be safer. All right, let's finish up the other side, and then I can clean up this water. So I'm gonna lay on the other side. Always make sure you don't do the same leg twice, because then you just have to do it double. On your form, remember, engage through the side body so you don't look like this. Hips stacked, lift the leg up and down. Let's go for 4 more. 3, 2, keep the leg up, little pulses, up an inch, down an inch. For 4, 3, 2, 1, little circles. Keep hugging the core in. Think about that transverse abdominal work that we did. And reverse the direction of your circles. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Flipping over to hands and knees. Take a second. Find that deep core contraction. It's more important than you think. It's worth the time. Right leg stays bent. Start to lift and lower. Now notice again, my back should not be arching. That would look like this. And I'm keeping my weight centered so I'm not leaning over to the side. Activating that left glute helps you. And I always encourage you, if you can stay balanced too, take your opposite hand behind your back. Gotta keep the leg lifted, little pulses. For 4, 3, 2, 1, straighten and bend the leg. This is where the second side I start to think, did I do that variation the first time around? I think I did. For 4, 3, 2, keep the leg straight, little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, set the knee down. All right, back to my weights. Standing on up, right leg forward, left leg back, arms back behind me, hips square, starting with little pulses. Getting into that right glute a little bit more. Weight in the right heel, similar to what I was saying with the squats. Hips are nice and square. Abs are engaged. For 4, for 3, for 2, 1. Now weight stays over my right side. My left leg comes in and out. For 4, 3, 2, 1, stay there. Pulse the arms again. Getting subtle arm work. It's really not that much, but we're holding this lunge. My right glute is on fire. And then flip it back. And then coming back to my triceps, bend and straighten, and adding my legs. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Again, taking a quick stretch, coming on down. So I showed you figure 4 like this the last time. You can always do it like this. You can also always do it laying down. Take a little rock from side to side. Whatever option feels best for you. Notice I walked myself down because, again, doing it carefully so I don't irritate the external abdominal muscles. Come on out of this, turn to my side. This far along, I'm a pro at doing that. It took me a while though. Last thing, just some arm work. I'm gonna do this kneeling. Reach your arms over my head. And then take some careful tricep dips here so I don't clink the bottles too much. Whew. You know, the glass bottles kind of make it feel a little unsteady. So I'm moving slower than I would with weights, which is giving me kind of like a slower, deeper burn. Might be onto something. I'm gonna add a kneeling squat here. Hinge the hips, hover the butt, squeeze the glutes to come on back up. What I was saying about the weight in your heels when we were doing our standing squats applies here. Think your knees pushing down and then your knees pushing away from one another, ripping the mat in half. That's gonna help those side glutes fire more. Good for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on in. I'm gonna set the weights down and I'm gonna set up for tricep push-ups. I'm not doing full push-ups in a plank. I feel too much pressure here. I'm also not doing full push-ups in like a modified plank, which is what looks like this. For me, I can hold this plank without any discomfort in my rectus abdominals, but once I start to push up, I really feel a pressure here. So the variation that I'm gonna show you is coming back to this hands and knees position. You're gonna notice my butt staying pretty still the whole time. This should be pretty safe for anyone who is feeling that outer pressure here. My hands are about as wide as my shoulders. As I bend my elbows, I'm gonna internally rotate my arms so that my elbows stay close. And then this way, I'm not feeling any pressure whatsoever in the external central part of my core. Again, if setting up like this feels good to you, listen to your body, do it, it's okay. We're all built differently, we all carry our pregnancies differently, so I'm a big believer in a one size does not fit all. That being said, if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me. I'm happy to explain all of this in more detail. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, halfway little pulses up an inch, down an inch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. All right, from there, I'm gonna move my wrists around a little bit. Definitely be mindful of how your wrists are feeling throughout any type of work like that. If they're feeling inflamed or painful, I would say skip that part. Once your wrists get to that point, putting more pressure on them is not going to make them feel better. Take some time off, try again tomorrow. You probably realize that every day we feel a little bit different. From here, I'm just gonna take a quick stretch, heart opener, press hips forward, try to get those shoulders to go back. Move my head around a little bit. Bring my hands out in front of me, around the spine. Really feel this middle back start to open. Reach it up, another side bend. And then a gentle twist through the spine. And then coming down. Cat-cow stretches always feel so good. Tucking my toes, straightening my legs, lifting my butt back behind me, sending my weight into my heels, pedaling out my feet, feeling a stretch in the calves. And then just walking my way forward, hanging down here, trying to release any tension, a little sway from side to side. Remember, make room for the belly. You can be as wide as you need here. And then slowly standing up, one vertebra at a time. And I feel a lot better than I did before I started. So thanks for bearing with me. I'll try to get 1 or 2 videos out every couple of days. And let me know if you have any questions. I love working with moms-to-be, with new mamas, with anyone else. I'm here for you. And just take care of yourself. Thanks.